Hi everyone, this is Shannon Shy. Welcome to another installment of Q&A with Shannon about OCD recovery. Thank you everyone for the questions. I will get to them in due time. And if you want to send me a question, you may do so on Facebook, Instagram, my YouTube channel, or send me an email, shannonshy@gmail.com. If you want to remain anonymous, please let me know. Today's question comes from Anonymous, and this is really the risk of getting better, part two. When trying to tell my son about your final checkpoint and you saying that, quote, you can do whatever you want to me, but I want to get better, end quote. For him, the fear is usually contamination that will literally hurt him, maybe even kill him. So it is hard to explain this to him and tell him he should think this way, because he is so afraid he will get a disease or a chemical or product could cause him illness, death, blindness, etc., that I don't think he can convince himself to take that risk. Any advice for him? Thank you, Anonymous. All right, and forgive me because I made some notes here. I'm gonna refer to them as we go along. Um, the answer to this lies in perspective and comparative thinking. First, we have the disorder. We've been diagnosed. We also know how the disorder works. It's always, capitalize that word, always, going to give us one circumstance, at least one, but one circumstance where we subjectively feel that the risk of the consequence coming true is just too great, too important, too significant, too drastic, unacceptable for that to happen. Our diagnosis is the, capitalize that word, the reason why we are permitted to put our thoughts, fear, anxiety into context. As things are, we already know that we live a tortured existence, constantly immersed in pain, fear, and anxiety. Why not try to take an alternative path? The people in the know are advising us that will lead us to recovery. Depriving OCD of what it craves is the only option, choice that leads to recovery. Therapists and people like me who've been in the hell pit and recovered wouldn't advise somebody to deprive the disorder of what it craves if we thought it was unsafe or harmful. Now, that sounds like reassurance. It's assurance about the process, right? If you do the things that make OCD weaker, even when you are most afraid, over time it will get weaker. The final checkpoint is about the light of recovery, not the darkness of doom. Without context, it seems like we are saying, oh God, if I do this, I might harm myself or kill myself, for example. With context, knowing that we have OCD, knowing how it works, knowing what leads us to recovery, we are saying, I've been told that I have OCD. Someone who knows is telling me that taking this risk of getting better will heal me. So, what I'm saying to you is trust the process, don't trust OCD. It's far preferable to trust the process and to take the risk of getting better than voluntarily agreeing to live a life in perpetual misery. It was scary. God, it was scary. But in context, I wasn't betting on the bad consequence happening. I was betting on recovery. And yeah, I was resigned. My resignation, if I'm wrong about that choice, do whatever you want to me. And by the way, I was never wrong, turns out, because I had OCD, and OCD was the source of those thoughts. And many times I didn't even know it, right? I just had enough information where I decided I was treating this as OCD because I was awash in doubt and debating, even if it was OCD. But I made a decision to treat it that way because I wanted to get better. In my mind, that resignation was at least I'm trying to do something to get better rather than voluntarily surrendering into a life of misery. It was not only the best option, it was my only option. And I got better. I made it through, and OCD consumed me with many different themes, many different thoughts, pretty much every waking moment of my life. But I got better. It felt like taking real risk, but it was the risk of getting better, right? Freedom awaits you. Go for it. Thank you.